Which vehicles deserve to be in the conversation for the best Toyota-made product of all time? This is a highly subjective question, and there's a lot of opinions about this, but at Fred Haas Toyota Country, in this April 2021 month, we're going to use all 4 episodes of our Toyota History Tuesday series to discuss vehicles that deserve to be considered for the title of the best Toyota of all time. Okay, to kick it off, we're turning to Toyota's luxury marquee, Lexus, for this one. Because on this episode of Toyota History Tuesday, we're talking about the legendary supercar, the Lexus LFA. Lexus was founded on September 1st, 1989, as a luxury marquee for Toyota vehicles. Highly engineered features like better ride quality and better aerodynamics, and further adaptations and improvements on the hybrid powertrain would take place in Lexus and then be used in other vehicles altogether. Lexus seemed a great place for Toyota to produce a production supercar for average consumers to buy. Of course, at a very high dollar amount. In the year 2000, when we were all surviving Y2K, development had started on a vehicle such as that, codenamed the TXS, which unfortunately for my fellow Texans did not stand for our great state. This prototype was really designed to feature Toyota's capabilities and performance using the luxury marquee. With prototyping finished by 2003, these prototypes were spotted doing heavy testing in 2004 at the famous racetrack in Nürburgring, Germany, the Nürburgring. In January 2005, at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit, a concept car / design study was released called the Lexus LFA. It was a high-performance luxury coupe sports car. This created a huge buzz, as there were already rumors that Lexus was going to launch its high-performance branch, similar to Toyota's Gazoo Racing, called F. And they thought this new luxury sports coupe called the Lexus LFA would launch as a part of this new high-performance branch debuting. It's also notable that people were particularly excited as Toyota, across its 3 brands at the time, Scion, Toyota, and Lexus, was very low in the sporty department. It was exciting to see Toyota return not only to just performance, but high performance. Although released as just a design study, it created such a buzz that Toyota took a second look at it and decided to continue prototyping. Following the 2005 debut creating this buzz, the Lexus LFA would go back into development and features would be added from Toyota's Formula One branch, increasing its performance. Engineers were looking to maximize the LFA's power-to-weight ratio. And in January of 2007, the rumors were true, and the Lexus F Performance branch would be launched, not with the LFA, however, but with the ISF Sports Sedan. But alongside it was another concept car not ready for production, a restyled LFA, dropping the dash. This supported the rumors that the LFA would hit production and would be under this Performance F nameplate. The response to this debut was hugely enthusiastic, and rumors of a V10 engine and a high-powered hybrid powertrain were flowing all over the place. In 2008, Lexus debuted a LF-AR concept car, the R standing for Roadster. It featured a 500 horsepower 5-liter V10 and a max speed of 200 miles per hour. Also in 2008, LFA without the hyphen or the dash would be registered as a trademark, hinting heavily towards the production model. A single racing LFA was also released in 2008 for competition in the Nürburgring endurance trial, known in its local German at the time as Veranstalter Gemeinschaft Langstreckenpoker Nürburgring, or simply VLN for short. It competed in the SP8 classification, which features naturally aspirated engines with greater than 4 liters of displacement. The design features of this vehicle hinted at it being road legal and for production. On August 9, 2009, Toyota's new CEO, Akio Toyoda, confirmed that the LFA was hitting production. It was expected to carry that V10 engine, but it was a 4.8-liter V10 called the 1LR. On October 21, 2009, just a few months later, the production model would debut at the Tokyo Motor Show. Although it was announced only 500 cars would be made. Given the great cost of development and materials and production, the LFA was not even projected to be profitable, but mark Toyota's performance capabilities and showcase their technology. This is similar to the 2000 GT model released in the 60s that Toyota made, noting that they probably only broke even or lost money, but it is considered Japan's first supercar. The Lexus LFA is similar. 2 days later, Lexus began taking orders for the LFA on a website they called the LFA Configurator. This allowed, on the website, allegedly up to 30 billion combinations of options, and each LFA would be made custom to its buyer. And these would be internal and external options. In 2010, in North America, LFAs were made available for 2-year lease contracts, then would launch into talks for purchase options after the completion of that program. There are a lot of amazing things about this vehicle. Tons of technology, maximizing power while minimizing weight, and tons of development went into the production of this vehicle. The best place to start on some of those features is the engine, a 553 horsepower V10 engine weighing less than the standard V6 engine of Toyota at the time. The sound of this engine is described as, quote, the roar of an angel, end quote, and was used in a television ad to shatter a champagne glass. Why don't we take a listen right here? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful sounding engine. Some say one of the best sounding engines ever. It would set a world record for production cars for the fastest to redline in 0.6 seconds. This would happen in 2012, and it would not be broken for many years. It went 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. It went 0 to 100 in 7.6 seconds. And it went 0 to 150 in 18.3 seconds. 18.3 seconds is about the same time of the 0 to 60 time of the first generation of the RAV4 EV, the fully electric model. Many reviewers placed the LFA at the top of their list for the best cars they've ever driven. The LFA was heralded as a fantastic car, maybe, as we're talking about, Toyota's best, but some criticism came from its high price tag at $375,000 per unit. Top Gear, for instance, the long-running BBC car-focused program, would criticize the LFA for its price, but famous host Jeremy Clarkston said on Series 19, Episode 2, that it was the best car he'd ever driven. I think he would know he's driven a million cars, basically. Jay Leno, on his very famous program Jay Leno's Garage, who has also driven a ton of vehicles, said, quote, no other car I know of does everything so extremely well, end quote. But after all 500 Lexus LFAs were sold, the model was discontinued without a successor. Sometimes we have to read between the lines on trying to find out why a model was discontinued, but it's simple that the Lexus LFA was being sold at $375,000 per unit, but cost $500,000 to make. So there was a big deficit being lost. Lexus's European boss, Elaine Wittenhoven, said in 2016 of it, quote, it is possible that one day we will create another supercar, but in my view, a super high-end machine is not what we need right now, end quote. That brings us to the end of the Lexus LFA story. And if you're looking for a used one of these, it'll probably set you back around $500,000. Combining hyper-engineered comfort features that just made the ride so unbelievably smooth, the handling so unbelievably great, and the power in such a small engine made this Lexus LFA one of the most unique and capable sports cars ever. Is it the best Toyota ever made, though? That's the conversation we're having, but it definitely belongs in the conversation. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this episode on the Lexus LFA. I'm Mitchell. I'm sitting here at Fred Haas Toyota Country, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.